Ξεκίνεται στο γήπεδο, πλησιάζει την περιοχή και...
Κατέβασε και εσύ το Bet On Alfa app και μην χάσεις ούτε ένα γκολ. Bet On Alfa. Ανεβήκαμε κατηγορία.
Welcome to a very special edition of No Choftes. I'm Stel, I'm Roy. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine, man. How are you, man? How are you?
I'm good today. I'm good. I'm just getting ready for the New Year's celebrations, if you can call it that, because I refuse to do anything in London because it's a fucking shithole. But hey, listen, people love this place. I don't know why, but yeah, it is what it is, man. I see.
I'm good, man. Yeah, like I said last time after the pod with APOLLON, it's a busy period at work at the moment, so I literally just got home a few minutes ago, and I just jumped on the pod because of the guest we have. Yeah, so hopefully it's going to be an interesting one. Other than that, normal thing. I had some friends over for my birthday, which was on Monday. It was fun. Rutina, refile. I need to these next week, 10 days, na fusion, and then things go back to normal, hopefully. Normal is good.
Normal is good. Normal is good. Well, look, our guest is about to jump on. We're just waiting for him to get ready. But this episode is powered by Bet On Alfa, so thank you for Bet On Alfa for backing us so far this season, and I'm sure we'll continue on next season. But before we get our guest on, because we're still waiting for him to pop up, I hope he's not having any technical problems. Let's very quickly talk about today's rumor that Barca and Matavs are on their way out. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
Obviously, the first thing is that the team does need to bring in some fresh blood, ας πούμε, να θέλεις. So, as we know, thank you, Saviccio, να σε καλά, λέγοντι μου. Okay. Obviously, for us to bring in players, we have to replace them. Even though we have a vacant spot, Mr. Darabuluzzi said on Total Green that they're not going to use that one, and whoever leaves, they're going to replace him. Well, it's no surprise there, at least when it comes to Matavs, that no surprises with both of them, but maybe we can talk about it later.
We'll talk about that later, because right now we've got our guest Vitor. Welcome to the show, File. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hello, Vitor.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me being here to talk to you about a club that make me very happy, and it's an honor for me.
Vitor, thank you for taking the time to join us. I know you're a busy guy, so thank you so much for jumping on. First of all, happy birthday, happy Christmas.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, and happy Christmas for you also.
How's your Christmas? Good?
Yeah, it was good. It was with the family, all together here in my house, and it's always a joy, the kids, the family together is amazing.
When you were playing abroad in Turkey and Hungary and Cyprus, were you going back to Portugal to celebrate Christmas with the whole family, or was everyone coming over?
Yeah, no. They in Hungary, we have some time to come and to be here in Portugal. But in Cyprus, because of the COVID, they don't allow us to travel back, and was difficult for me. I was alone there, so it's very tough. It's one of the worst Christmas that I ever passed.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, Vitor, let's talk about your early days as a player. I know you played in Riave, the youth academy, and you
Yeah.
worked your way up to the first team before going to Cagliari, I believe. But in that time, there was a newspaper story in England that you were linked with Chelsea when Villas-Boas was head coach. Was there any truth in that? Was it?
Yeah, they talk about in the newspapers, but to be honest, they never talked to me direct or with my agent. So I don't know where this story came from. So I don't know, to be honest, if it's true or not. But I heard that, and of course, is a pleasure for me. It's an honor to be my name associated to these big clubs. But they never proposed me something or a contract or something like that.
Yeah, I remember because the newspaper was saying that you were a midfielder that could play right back, and
Yeah,
your club wanted 5 million euros
yeah,
for you.
yeah, because when you are young and my debut was with 18 years old. I was in the academy in Rio Ave, and the club tried to always to earn some money with the players from the academy, and it's normal, but at the same time, uh, they cannot pay this kind of money for a player that is growing, and is always a risk. So
There you go. There you go. See, we've put that one to bed, just for people
yeah,
that want to know.
yeah.
So before you became a pro footballer, did you have any footballing idols, or any players that you looked up to when you were growing up?
I mean, I have. First and foremost was my brother. My brother was a football player, also professional football player. He was Zé Gomes, and I grew up seeing him playing, and I dreamed the day that I become a professional player. And when I became a professional player, I played with him at the same game against Benfica. Was something crazy. Player with your brother, help each other, and doing everything to help me, and was very good. Was amazing feeling. And responding you more concrete was, of course, I have idols like Pirlo, players like more midfield players. I in that time I was looking Zidane, Patrick Vieira, players that is in my role. So I try to see how they play, what they do, what they did in that time. So was my idols.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, speaking of Portugal, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo have a pretty average World Cup. For me, he is one of the greatest players of all time. How is he viewed in Portugal? Because obviously we've seen the likes of Figo and Rui Costa and Eusebio even before that. But Cristiano, what do you make of him as a player?
Well, Cristiano is one of the great players for all times, in my opinion. So in that time, is taking and is making choices for him, and is some players or some people doesn't like him, but to be honest, I don't like to talk too much about Cristiano, because he's a big star, and whatever I say about him it can cause a big thing, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's I don't want to talk too much about Cristiano.
No problem at all. Well, I know you went to Cagliari in Italy, and you
Yeah.
were coached by Ranieri, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
No. Was David Ballardini.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, was a David Ballardini. When I arrived there, he was there. He was a good person, good coach, and I enjoyed to work with him there.
What did you learn most about your time in Italy in terms of the tactical and physical preparation?
In the physical, the work in the gym, they work a lot in Italy in the gym, and tactics. In tactics, they one of the best countries in the world. To be honest, they follow they are very they train a lot. I remember we train with a rope, so the defensive line training, everyone was hanging the rope. So if one guy, imagine the left back goes, the others has to follow him, so to cover him, so it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Well, I tell you, Ballardini, I remember him. He was at Genoa. He was at Lazio. Where else was he? I think he was at Palermo at some point.
Genova, Palermo, I don't know, but but he coached some good clubs there.
Brilliant. So you ended up in Hungary. Now I know Henning Berg coached in Hungary. So do you think that's where you caught his eye? Or was he there at the same time? I can't remember. Was he coaching?
No. I think I was before him. I think. Yeah, I was in Hungary in 2014. Yeah, 13, 14. I don't think I think he was late after.
Right.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we signed a few players when you joined us. There was some players who we signed that kind of knew Berg from his time in Hungary. I think may have been Adam Lang, if I'm not mistaken, Shepovic, and a few others that come. So I was assuming that maybe he saw you play out there. But can you tell us about how the move to Omonia came about then? Because you went to Turkey for a bit, you then went back to Portugal for a few years, and then you ended up in Cyprus with Omonia.
Yeah, I will start with Turkey. When I was in Turkey, I have few problems with the salaries. They didn't pay me. Was in the end they resolved it, so they pay me everything. It was okay, but I had some problems there. And after I came back, I played in ASSIS. And when I finished my contract with ASSIS, I was looking to play abroad, And one day, NUNO talked with a guy that was helped me with my things, my agent. I didn't have nothing signed in the paper with him, but he was taking care of my things, and. He told me about the possibility to be in Omonia, to sign with Omonia, and we was like that, and we talk, we agree, we contract years, and that's it. And after is history.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you mentioned NUNO, because, as you know, he's a club legend. I think one of Roy's favorite ever players. Every time I say the name, Roy smiles like a child on Christmas Day.
His testimonial, I took my missus, and it was probably the second time I took her to a football game, and I was crying for 15 minutes when I saw NUNO leave. Even now, when you talk about it, my eyes are like NUNO.
Roy.
Yes.
Roy, this guy is so humble. So he is incredible, So is for me is also a joy talk about him, because he's a great player, and sometimes many great players they are not humble, So they think that they are above the people, and they look like from the above to down for the people. And this guy is so humble that is amazing, and a big player. And I think that most of you enjoy in Cyprus looking him playing. So was amazing. Yeah. I also enjoy in Portugal, when he plays in Guimarães, he plays against me.
Yeah.
many times. And he plays in Benfica. You know, he plays in big clubs, and is a big guy.
Yeah. Well, there's a strong link with Portuguese players and Omonia. I mean, over the years, even us who we've interviewed, we've had Vasconcelos, we've had Kiko, etc., etc. We've had many. So there's a lot of Portuguese players that have come to play for Omonia. Is this a club that many of you guys know about? Because as I said, there's been loads of players to come from Portugal to Omonia. I'm assuming that it's a club that's well known out there.
Bro, you know, Omonia is a big club, and they won a lot of titles in Cyprus, and of course, when the people talk about Omonia, I know that the people in Omonia don't like much, or they hate APOEL, but we in Portugal we know that also APOEL is a big club. They play in Champions League, blah 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 blah. And when the people talk about Omonia, the people look for the players that play there, you know. And we talk each other, and we know what's going on there, and that's why I don't know, but sometimes this can help the players to take some decisions if you go or not, you know. That's why we have a lot of Portuguese players playing in Cyprus, in Omonia too.
I think it's also a market, Portugal, which players don't need so much time to adapt in the league. I think this started from years ago, even with smaller clubs like Doxa. There was a period of time where there was a lot of Portuguese players generally in Cyprus. I don't know what it is, but there is. If you look at the majority of the players, the foreign players in Cyprus a few years ago, most of them were Portuguese. You know, so
yeah, you know, we Portuguese players, we don't need to, as you said, is right. We don't need too much time to adapt to a new country, or of course it depends. Sometimes some players need some time to adapt, but most of us, we don't need to much time to adapt to Cyprus, you know, because you know Cyprus is a nice country with good weather, good food. So you have beaches like here, you know, we have beach. It's more or less the same, more hot than here, but yeah, it's more or less the same.
So I wanted to ask you, before you signed Omonia, or even after you signed and you have left, did any other clubs approach you before, or Omonia was the first club that approached you from Cyprus in your career?
One day Apollon, when Pedro Emmanuel was there.
Yes.
My agent told me about Pedro wants me in Apollon, but we didn't. This doesn't pass for a proposal, or was just a talks, and nothing happened. So this is, I think, was the first time that someone told me about a club in Cyprus.
Who did you said earlier that you spoke to other Portuguese players? Obviously, you spoke to NUNO. You told us that you spoke with NUNO ASSIS. But did you speak to anyone else, or was it only NUNO was enough?
No, only NUNO was enough. You know, what I heard was Omonia had some problems, financial problems.
Yes.
And you know, the players talks, and we know when the club had some problems. And what I asked NUNO, if there is any kind of possibility that I pass something like you passed before, like with financial problems, salaries, and he said no, bro. So now we had a new president, and he's trying to you know, when is a fun thing that when he talked to me about Omonia, the plan from the club is in 2 years fight for European for the Europe League.
Yeah.
You know, in 2 years. So, and when we arrive, we finish in the first place, okay,
Yes.
because of the COVID and they stopped the league, but we finished first, and they didn't give us the title, but we felt champion, you know, and that's why we played in the Champions League.
Qualifiers.
Yeah, qualifiers. Yeah.
Yeah. So you came to Cyprus, as you mentioned. You said you didn't need too much time to adapt. You made a duo with JORDI in your first year. You were irreplaceable in the middle of the park with JORDI. How was it playing with JORDI? You know, it was another very big player, JORDI, for Omonia, one of the biggest players, captain, personality as well. That helped very much. How was it playing with JORDI in the middle there, or the middle of the park for Omonia?
Was so simple and so enjoyable, bro. You know, I'm from Portugal. He's from
Spanish.
Spain, so we are near, you know. So he's a player that he likes to play good football. I like to play also good football, the ball on the ground, you know, 1-2 touches, not too many touches, not driving with or trying to dribble, you know. In the middle, if you are number 10, so in the final third, you can try to dribble and make some final passes. But like number 6, number 8, it's important to play 1-2 touches, you know. So if you play like we played, like building from the back, so it's very important to play 1-2 touches, and we know each other. I think one of the keys, to be honest, in our time in Omonia, was that we recognize each other the quality, you know. So between players, we recognize each other the quality, and we respect that. And the environment, the atmosphere in the dressing room was good, you know. And one is like that is much easier in the pitch, in the middle of the park. So that's why we enjoy it, you know, playing together. And after with the KOUSOU also is very important in the second year, you know.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned the team unity and how everyone got on with each other. We've spoken to Shepa, Kiko, Ernest, Shehu. Who else have we spoken to on this pod? Roy, Jordi, Michael Lufner, you know, and all these guys tell us the same story.
Chepa, Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah. Matt also said about the atmosphere in the dressing room, how important it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an important time. It was a great time for a lot of the players, and I'll never forget winning the title at AEK, and we're watching, you know, you guys celebrating on the pitch when you saw the APOLLON result, but then you're seeing Michael Lufner coming out of the dressing room with a towel around his waist, just joking around, Henningberg pushing Johnny's. It seemed like everyone was having a great time. What do you remember most about that season? Because it was very close, wasn't it? The last 2-3 games, we, you know, obviously APOLLON and AEL were on our tail, so to speak. But it was a remarkable season, having beaten APOEL twice in the league, APOLLON, etc., etc. So, what were your fondest memories of that season?
Bro, as I mentioned before, the atmosphere was amazing. And it was also a mix of experienced players and young players, the talent players that Omonia had, you know, like Johnny's, like Caralampo, like Luizo, Cacolis. I don't want to miss no one, but you know, this mix was, I think, in my opinion, was important. Because in the big moments, so when the moments that is in the big games, you need to be strong, and when sometimes when the things don't go well, we need to support for the young players also. So, and the young players sometimes they make mistakes, and if they don't have players, experienced players in their back, it's more difficult for them. So this mix was in my opinion one of the keys for achieve these titles. And of course Annenberg, the administration like Larco, was very important to build this team. And after Annenberg, like with their, the players must trust in the coach. So in the process, every week, train and believe in the coach. And if you believe in the coach, you will do everything for him in the pitch. And it's more easy to win games and to fighting for the titles. This is I think we have all these kind of things, and because it's not just the players or just the coach, it's a mix of everything,
Yeah. You spoke about the coach and how if the players believe in the coach, then they will do anything for them. And we spoke to Jordi about the team harmony, but the lack of leadership last season. Obviously, I know you weren't there last season, but when you were there, we had Lufner, Huberchan, yourself, Jordi, a lot of senior players that really knew how to get results. When you're really trying because we went 5 or 6 games without winning, wasn't it? 5 or 6 games without a win, and then we ended up winning the title. But that's probably because of the experience that you brought in as well. When you look at the squad of players that we had when you were there, how many of those guys can you say they were leaders in that dressing room? They would really pull players together, especially the younger players.
The younger players.
No, for the older players, like for example yourself or Jordi, can you think of any leaders in that?
I mean Jordi, but after Luften, you mentioned more or less all of them, Jordi, Luftner, Thomas Subokan was a leader, He didn't talk too much. When he talks, everybody is listening, and we have this kind of leadership. And after Fotis also.
Fotis.
So it's very important to have players like that, and the good players, of course.
Let's talk about Red Star Belgrade, the penalty shootout, the famous penalty shootout. You took the third one. You were very composed. And in fact, all of our penalty takers, they didn't feel any pressure. I mean, I remember Ernest just walked up to it and he rolled the ball in the bottom corner. I'm thinking, what's going on? So, in terms of the opponent, Red Star were a brilliant team. They were a fantastic team. They're very physical, very quick. But we got the early goal from Lufner, the corner, which was near post. And then obviously they equalised and we took it to penalties. At what point did you believe that we were going to go through? Because it didn't seem that anyone was afraid of the occasion. It didn't seem that anyone was...
No, at all. We didn't have afraid because we knew what we before this game we eliminate also the Poland, the Legia. So was also a big team that they were favorites, and we went there and we beat them. So, and at home we was strong. So okay, they are the Red Star, but we are Omonia. We believe, we trust each other. Of course, there was a difficult game, but as I mentioned, we believe in ourselves, and let's go and let's give everything, and in the end we will see. And it was a difficult match, but in the end we we beat them, and was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that? Do you consider that penalty shootout one of the best memories you have in Omonia? And which other memories do you have from your time there in the 2 years? Obviously, you know, it was on the one hand, I was going to say something earlier when you were answering some of the questions. The fact that it was COVID and not a lot of fans went there maybe helped some of the youngsters play with less pressure.
Well,
But
it's true. It's true.
on the other hand, you didn't feel how it is to have the support of the Omonia fans. Obviously, you saw it when we won the
To be honest, for me it was amazing, man. To be with the fans when you boys, with these stands full of Omonia fans, was amazing, man. We create a great atmosphere, and I can say that the opponent feel the fear, you know. So when we had such a support of you, you gave us a strength that we needed, and this is so important for us. Sometimes it looks like you don't have more like power. If you start to think and to push for us, we go and find energy somewhere. Is amazing. It's amazing. Your support is very important for the team, bro. And to be honest, it's difficult for the supporters, like support and help the team when they are losing, when the team is losing. But this is the time that you guys need to support, because it's when we players feel that we need this. Okay, after you can talk about other things, like when you see the player, he can do more, you know, and this upsets you. It's right. I know that. But in that time, most of us, all of us, we gave everything for the club. We want to make history. It was 11 years without the title. A club like Omonia, 11 years without titles is a crime, man.
Yes.
You know, so that's why we fight for the club.
Do you still keep in touch with some of the former players at Omonia, or do you follow what's going on at Omonia last year?
To be honest, I'm follow the results. Not I don't know where I can see games, because I don't know in internet where I can find to see the games. But I'm follow the results, and I keep in touch with okay, Kiko is now in ANTROPI, but with Fabiano, with Thiago now he's in Salamina, but we have some good relation, and that we talk more with these guys.
Vitor, you just mentioned Fabi, a player that has been so important for this club since joining. If I remember, I think Pantilimon was injured, UZOHO was injured, and we brought in Fabi in, was it October, Roy? October 2019? Was it October? I can't remember.
Yes, it was either October or November. It was yeah.
I don't remember too.
He was on a free.
That's right.
Unemployed. He didn't have a team. He left from Turkey and Fenerbahce, I think it was, and he came there and he's like, I just want to play football. He was on really big salary and he didn't care about how much money.
And it's incredible how things work out, because here we have a goalkeeper that wasn't playing anywhere. He joins Omonia, and a year later, you know, he joins Omonia in 2019, and in 2020, 2021. He wins the title. He becomes MVP, Player of the Season, and he gets 23 clean sheets in 31 games. 23 clean sheets in 31 games in all competition. Unbelievable.
I training with him, I knew him from Portugal, but I didn't play in the same team with him. But training with him, it was a crazy thing, Sometimes he upset us because he make incredible saves, only if you were there to see is amazing. And as have a player like him in the team is so important to get the results and to get titles.
He was I remember, which game was it? I think it was Buffalo, the first game of the season, when he conceded a penalty when VAR broke through. We finished 2-2 in that game. And I thought, oh no, is this the start to where a goalkeeper goes from up here to down here?
To down,
but but it was incredible how he just carried on. And Vitor, you know as well as I do, if you have a great goalkeeper, he saves you 15, 18 points a season.
It's true. And like Francis in the 2021 or 1920
when we started before he got injured.
Yeah. He was amazing, man. He was unbelievable, the saves that he did. So as you mentioned, it's so important to have a goalkeeper like Francis or Fabiano or like Pantalimon. He was like 2 meters. I never will forget the save that he did against IL. Yeah. More or less in the finished the game was something incredible, and we get the result there also.
So now you are back in Portugal. How you play often? What's the position your team? How is the competition there? Do you miss Cyprus,
bro? Yeah, I came to the second league.
Yeah,
I had a proposals to play in the last year when I came for my hometown. For my club, I grow here in the academy of Rio Ave, and the club came down, to the second league. Yes. And I decided to even if I had a proposal to play in the first league, I came to the second league to be near to my family and to help my team to be in the first league. And we were champion. And now we are in the middle of the table, and we are in the objectives of the club. So we are doing well, and of course, we have always room to improve, but we are doing well.
Okay. Vitor, going back to winning the title, I remember the title celebrations at the Gazibi. And, everyone's families were on the pitch. And I was joking with Shepa and Kiko about the speak Portuguese bit. I don't know if you remember, right? Where Shepa is being interviewed by the guy on the pitch and Kiko goes behind him and he says, speak Portuguese.
I didn't saw it, this.
Oh, because you were there. You were in the background.
Yeah.
And Kiko said something to you, and then he came to the camera when Shepa was being interviewed on the pitch. And I thought I was going to ask you, what did Kiko say to you? I was going to ask that. Did he say to you, I'm going to try and play a prank on Marco? I can't remember.
I don't remember this, but Marco knew some Portuguese words. That's why maybe he's joking with him. I don't remember.
And when you went to go collect your medal, you had your mobile phone in your hand.
Yeah, because my family is on the phone. I was FaceTime them, and I put them on the phone to see what's going on in the stadium, and was I miss in that time. I was missing them a lot, and
Yeah.
was so important for me
Yeah.
to make them know in that time that I was passing through this kind of emotions, and
Yeah.
was important. Yeah.
But that was
I
also your last game, right? You knew it was emotional for you because you knew
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
were going to continue the next.
I was taking the decision to leave, because with my daughter, crying, ask me to come back
Yeah.
home, bro, is something that no there is no money that can you can earn that is something is sentimental, and
Yes.
I took the decision to come back, and yeah, my family is missing me, so it was difficult moment. Was a mix of joy, because of the title, and at the same time I was missing so much my family. Was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that season. I think you, Gusu, and Jordi were kind of rotating to
Yeah.
playing that centre midfield. So at that point, did you believe that Gusu is ready to take my place? Was he the guy that you felt that could make that central midfield spot his own?
I think Kosu is a very good player. I think he as we train, I think he improves
Mm-hmm.
after so he learned a little bit, to be honest, uh, how the coach wants to play in the midfield,
Right.
and was more easy for him in the second year. He was prepared to play, and physically is a monster, and so he was ready to play, and he did very well with Jordi. He did very
Mm.
well. So was good for him and for us, because we were a team. So if that's, as I said before, we recognize each other, the quality, and we respect our teammates. So if the coach decide to put Kosu playing, I have to support him. Just this. So this is the one of the keys to get victories and titles.
Yeah.
Support the guys that is in the middle of the park, not
Not like Cristiano.
not Cristiano,
Ah,
because
stop.
because Cristiano he was playing like 20 years. Put a guy like Cristiano on the bench, should be difficult for him, like, to accept. This is true,
Yeah.
but I don't know. The coaches and Cristiano knows better than me what's going on there.
Yeah, I was just joking. I wanted
Yeah,
to.
I know.
Vitor, I remember the trophy celebrations after the KCB because I was on Instagram with Roy, and then Kiko adds onto our Instagram live, and we're on the bus with you guys, and
Yeah,
we're seeing Shehu banging on the glass. We're seeing
crazy, crazy,
Casper
crazy.
the goalkeeper. Yeah, Casper was banging on the glass, and then Gusu said to him, "You're going to break the window. Stop it." It was funny, and then Humbo did an Instagram live with you and him on the top of the bus, and you guys were singing "We Are the Champions." Do you have that video? I have it somewhere. I'll send it
Yeah,
to you.
I have a lot of videos in my phone. So was crazy, because a lot of people there, like, because of the COVID, we cannot hug each other,
Yeah,
was crazy, but at the same time was amazing feeling of seeing you guys around of the bars. The joy that we felt in that time was crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Roy, have we got some quick fire questions? I've got a few in my head because I don't want to take up too much of Vitor's time. I know he's a busy guy.
I think we should start with a quick fire and try and wrap it up, so we let Vitor go back to his family as well. We've kept him, but it's a pleasure to have you on. You know, there is this message here I want you to read. It says,
Vitor,
"You look fresh and younger."
Yeah, I have a new baby.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. She has a 4 month. So
oh wow!
God bless her.
Excellent. That's great to hear.
It's
great to hear.
It's great.
Lovely.
Life is good, man.
Yeah, of course. So, Vitor, I've got some quick fire questions. Okay. Now, I want you to think about these. Okay. If you were on a desert island with 4 teammates, which one is the chef? Which one is the entertainment? Yeah. Which one do you want to sleep away with everyone because he farts too much? And Roy's laughing at it. And which one do you think can build you a boat to get off the island? Which one would you trust to build a boat?
A chef, I think me. You know.
You okay?
I think me. The other ones.
Entertainment, who can dance?
Entertainment, like Ubo can.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's the other one? The one that can build the boat. The one that will build the boat.
The boat, I think Lang, maybe.
He can build boats. Okay.
He can.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And which one do you tell to sleep on a different side of the island because they fart too much? They make too much wind.
Ubo can too.
Lovely. Okay. And if you talk about maybe you're doing maybe a crossbar challenge, do you do a crossbar challenge where you put the ball on the halfway line
and try to put it on the bar?
Who do you think would be the best player to do that? Because I've spoken to Kiko about who's got the best left foot, and he said him. But I was thinking maybe Eric or maybe Lesias, I don't know. But
Jordi,
yeah.
Yeah. But Kiko too. Yeah.
Kiko, yeah. Okay.
So we have a few players that can. So Eric, Wojciech, Jordi, Kiko. Yeah, they have a very good left back. Left foot.
Left foot. Yeah.
It's yeah. So
okay. And what about the funniest prank you have seen at the club? The funniest prank, because I know Huber-chan has got a bit of a reputation for being a joker. We've heard about certain jokes that were made in the dressing room that maybe went wrong, but were there any funny moments you could remember? Like,
bro, to be honest, I don't remember like nothing's like special. For sure, in that moment, I enjoy it, but right now I don't remember.
What about Rizvani then, the lad that helps with the ball and brings in the kits? He's always on the pitch sometimes when you guys celebrate goals. What's his name?
Thanasis, yeah.
What can you tell us? We never ask players about him, but he's always doing things. Well, what's he like?
As you know, he's a crazy fan of, or one of the big fans of Omonia. So he helped us a lot. He was funny too, because we joke with him like in the training sometimes, you know. And was a good guy and a good supporter of us. He helped us a lot with if we need something. He goes to try to help us. Was a good guy.
Brilliant. Roy?
Yeah, I was going to ask a few more questions. Like, who is the best dressed, the best dresser in the dressing room?
The best dresser, you know, maybe Jordi or you know, most of the times the people come with the shorts and t-shirts, so it's difficult to say something about that. But yeah, I can say Jordi.
Yeah. And who's the worst dresser?
The worst, maybe Wojciech.
Oh,
Eric.
he's not gonna like that, Eric.
Vitor, I've got one more question. There's one joke that I've always been making with Ernest and Shehu and a few other players. Rondos. Who's always in the middle? Who is always in the middle?
Rondos. I don't remember, man. Shehu.
Oh yes. See, I'm glad you said that.
Shehu is most of the times is I don't know if he's always, but most of the times Shehu was in the middle too, and Ubokan too.
Okay. So when it came to training, which player do you think was, I wouldn't say the laziest, but one that maybe felt
the laziest?
Really
Shehu. Shehu was the laziest, so he never wants to go to the gym. He was so lazy in the gym, man.
Oh my God.
But you know, is in the gym he was lazy, but in the pitch was amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
fantastic.
but it's true.
Fantastic player. Fantastic. Just one final thing about the current coach, Ferrara. Do you know much about him?
No, bro.
No?
I didn't know nothing about him.
Because we're a little bit further behind because there's 3 teams who are top of the league now. It's APOLLON, ASSIS, and Buffalo. They all have 37 points, and we're on 25, if I'm not mistaken. So we're a bit far behind. But when you have a coach who is very, I'd say, progressive, that likes to play football a certain style, but still needs time to adapt because this isn't his squad. He only came in October.
Yeah.
So what would your message be to fans that are perhaps a little bit impatient with this guy?
Bro, if the administration and you, the supporters, see that he's the quality, he has a model to Omonia play, so give him time, and at the same time he didn't build this team, so you have to give him room to maybe to build a team, and after let him explain his
Philosophy.
the philosophy of him, and so this is like be patient a little bit, even if it's difficult, because we get used to see Omonia fighting for titles, and now is a little bit far, but so he left some games, so let's let them try to give the best as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Roy, any more questions?
I think we've covered most of the questions I had in mind. I'd like to thank Vitor one more time. It was an absolute pleasure to have him on the show.
Thank
was
you.
really nice. And we wanted to say thank you for everything you have offered to Omonia. You were a true professional, a very good player.
Thank you.
And a good character, and it was a pleasure to have you on our show. And we wish you all the best, both in your career and personally, and with your family. And we hope we can have you again sometime on our show.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, and I appreciate that.
Vitor, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show with us. As Roy said, you've been an influential person for the club. You've been there when we've gone through good times, and thank you for the memories. It's been absolutely brilliant. And again, if you can join us again, that would be great. We'll see if we can get Marco on. You two can speak Portuguese on our show.
Thank you, Stel. Thank you very much. And so we keep in touch, man.
Absolutely. Okay. Obrigado, File. Have a lovely new year. All the best.
If you see NUNO, tell him a big abrazo from me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
ask
Thank you.
him if he
I
can
will
come
do.
on the show with us, because we're trying to get Nuno on, but he's
Yeah, he's a busy man. He's a busy
he's a
man.
busy man.
It's difficult.
That's fine, no problem. Vitor,
Happy
thank
New
you very
Year,
much for
man.
that.
Happy New Year for
Obrigado,
you
thank
guys.
you. Love to the
Happy New
family.
Year.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Here we go. Vitor Gomes, everyone. What a guy. What a guy. And yeah, it was great talking to him about his memories at the club, the good times, famous victories, certain players, and we know all about Thomas Huberchan, so we found out a little bit more. But yeah, that was nice, man. That was nice.
Yeah, I hope people
So
enjoy.
yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I hope they will. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, guys. We hit the 2K mark now, so happy days. Happy days. Yeah, you were saying before about Matavs and Barker, because again, we were talking about them possibly leaving, being the two guys that will be out the door very soon. So yeah,
If we're brutally honest, I think it does make sense. You know, it does make sense. As a pod, we try to be as supportive as we can with the players, and especially when we know that they've got a contract, we try to avoid, talking about certain players or using names. We talk generally about positions, maybe, or that, but because it's out, I think that it does make sense that these two are the favorites to leave. Unfortunately, for Matavs, he came in with high expectations, even though it was a last-minute move. He's a player who his CV was quite impressive. If you looked at his career in not his earlier days, but like not long ago, we expected that he was going to bring something different. The truth is that when he came in last season, the team wasn't very, didn't have a lot of ideas, wasn't so fresh. We've mentioned how they were feeding off of scraps, but so this season as well, he played I think it was the Super Cup game, and he came in also as a sub with Olympiacos. He scored a goal, but unfortunately, even though when a player signs for a club, we always wish he will offer, and we'll remember him for the things he offered. With Matavs, there's not much to remember him by, even though I don't know if some of the managers were a bit unfair with him, or if he had more minutes or more games consecutively, if he could have helped more. But yeah, it does make sense that he's going to leave. Barker is another one, even though I think we're lacking the options on the wings. Letting Barker leave and bringing possibly another winger is not going to add numerically more options. You're just replacing a player that doesn't seem to, other than maybe the goal he scored against Genk and an assist or two, or he hasn't been, again, as influential as he would have liked to, I'm sure, as well. So yeah, at the moment, I think it does make sense that these two are the favorites to leave.
the thing is, when I think of Brandon Barker, it always takes me back to the first episode we did when he joined us, and I said, look, he's come with so many hamstring injuries. I'm not sure if the pitches are going to do him any favors. I'm not sure if the style of play is going to be suited to him. And I can't turn around and say that he hasn't shown any effort, because he has. I think he has. But the writing was on the wall when the moment he joined us, wasn't it? And, this isn't us like shitting on the guy or whatever. But unfortunately, he hasn't shown what he can do. But where does he go from here now? Because I remember Tarapulizzi was saying on Total Green the other day that we were scouting him for a few years because he was at Hibernian, and then he went to a championship club. And that's when I said to myself, but when he went to Reading, which was a championship club he's talking about, he hardly played any games. So how can you even scout a guy that's not even playing? So again, I don't want to bring back Simo in the equation, but this transfer didn't make any sense from a playing perspective. It made sense because Lennon knew him, but it didn't make sense from a playing perspective. As for Matavs, again, I don't want to shit on the guy because I've said what I've had to say about him, but he came on the final day of the January deadline. Yeah, he came with Lovera, right? And only one of the two really showed up, you know. And I know people are going to say, well, you're just bitter because he made way for Shepa. Well, be that as it may, you know, he played up front in the cup final. He was non-existent. Again, I go back to when we were talking about the actual cup final, the review, when I was saying, like, you know, Lovera was having a go at him. And I don't know what language they were speaking because Lovera doesn't speak Greek or Slovenian. And I don't think Matavs speaks Spanish. Maybe he does. I don't know. So I don't know what was going on there. But he's hardly featured with Lennon in this part of the season, because in fact at the beginning of the season, from what I understand, we wanted to pay him out to go, but they weren't willing to pay the full contract. In fact, the Greek club came in for him and he didn't want to go there because they weren't in the Europa League. He wanted to stay and fight for his place with this, which is admirable. But at the same time, it's like, well, the way that they treated him, the way the club treated him, it's no surprise that he was like, well, fuck this. I'm just going to sit on my hands and take my money. He came on against Olympiacos. He scored. He came on against AEK with, how long ago? 10 minutes ago, if that. And they were just lumping the ball up to him. So, look, I can't say that he was any form of success. I can't say that he was money well spent. From what I understand, he's a nice guy and he's really good in the locker room with the rest of the players, which, okay, fine, that's great. But he didn't score enough goals. Did he do his job as a holding striker? I doubt it. I don't think so anyway. But I wish them both well. I really do. I can't say that they were useless, that they were shit, that they shouldn't be anywhere near the shirt. We give these players an opportunity to show what they can do. And clearly they weren't, or they're not in the boss's plans. Now, the question is, are we really going to bring in two players in those areas? You know, apparently we will. Apparently the club are now interviewing, or they will be interviewing, sporting directors. Now, the January window opens in a few days' time. Will it be similar to when we signed the first 4 players in the summer, that they happen straight away and they can prepare for the rest of the month or whatever, and we're done for the rest of the month? Or is it like, well, are we going to wait until the end of January? We don't want the latter. We don't want that to happen again, because we saw what happened last season. So,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
I'm just interested to see not only which positions we bring in, because clearly we're going to need a winger. I don't know if we're going to bring in a striker, because we've already got 3.
I don't think we're going to bring a striker, and I don't think we need a striker, if you ask me.
So, chance there'll be a winger and probably a centre back. That's what I think.
Maybe not even a centre back. I think maybe they're going to try and add another attacking midfielder, or this is what I think. But I don't know. With Omonia, you know.
But when you say attacking midfielder, are you talking about a number 10 or someone in the middle of the park? Because we've spoken about the midfield area on numerous occasions. We've got KOUSOU, we've got Bash, we've got Mix, we've got Humble. But that's 4 already.
Yeah.
So
this is what I'm guessing.
Jesus, I forgot him as well.
Jesus, 40s. Yeah. So,
Alex says it's going to be 2 wingers.
Okay.
If that's the case, then what? Bruno's going to be a 10?
And Andy said, my friend, Roy's friend, will bring the Elias, don't worry. Thank you, Andy, μου ρε φίλε. Thank you, ρε. Εκάτσωσες και εσύ, ρε. I bottled it, τώρα είναι ο φίλος μου. Δεν πειράζει, ρε.
You can't please everyone, bruv. You can't please everyone. No, bro, but this is what I'm saying. Like, we spoke about this like weeks ago, and you're not gonna be able to fucking go for the throat. You can go to a certain point. You can take the knife right up to the throat, but you can't slice the throat on that show. You've got to just hold it at knife point and say, right, this is as far as I'm gonna go. Like, people don't realize that you can't like lay into the guy. And no disrespect to everyone watching and feels the same way as Andy does, but you know, if you have a genuine problem with Darabuluzian, say it to his face.
Mate, I don't wanna talk about it.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. So okay, so we've done the transfers. I'm just trying to think. Sporting directors. This is another one that people are talking about. As far as I'm aware, they're going to be interviewing people soon, and they're going to be speaking to certain people. I don't know which route they're going to go down. I don't know whether they're going to go for a Portuguese or a Spanish or a British. I don't know. This is another thing which no one really knows too much about. I've done some digging, but I haven't been able to get any information as to who they're talking to, who they've entertained. I've had people messaging me saying, can you put me forwards for it? I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I just do a fucking podcast, bro. What do you want me to do? So again, that's another interesting one. But the one thing I will say about that is, like I said before, whoever comes in as a sporting director, they're going to have to get on with the manager. We can't have, you know, two people at the top of the tree that aren't singing from the same song sheet and people above them saying, what the fuck is going on? Because we're going to have the same situation as Lakwa and Orthosi out after like 3 months.
I don't know, man. It's obvious that we need some more people who understand football in the club, and we need to organize the club again, have specialization in different areas, and maybe less duties on the shoulders of some people. And it's a start. But the thing is, it's στην Κύπρο λαλούμε βάλαμε την άμαξα μπροστά από το άλογο. You put the carriage in front of the horses, and this is a bit strange in the sense that τούτο το πράγμα ρε φίλε, αλλά που κάπου πρέπει να αρχίσουμε, έστω και λαθασμένα, έστω και παράδοξα, που κάπου πρέπει να αρχίσει το πράγμα. Ρε, sorry, still give me 2 minutes ρε φίλε.
Go ahead.
Ναι, ναι. We want the Roy from the interview Παπασταύρου. Άκου να σου πω ρε, αντί μου να σου πω. Okay. Που ήταν να βγει ο Σίμος, όπως περιμέναμε πολύ να βγει στην εκπομπή για να απαντήσει, έτσι και εκείνος περίμενε πολλά να βγει να πει και από θέλει να πει. Είχαμε δεκάδες ερωτήσεις για να ρωτήσουμε. Κάποιες που και σε ερωτήσαμε τες, κάποιες άλλες όχι, κάποιες άλλες πολλές γεννηθήκαν την ώρα που μιλούσε και κάποιες άλλες θυμηθήκαν και μετά που τέλειωσε η εκπομπή. Η αλήθεια είναι ότι τσαμέ ρε φίλε, έχεις περίπου καθαρό χρόνο κοντά στην ώρα. Όταν μιλάω ο Κώστας, μιλάω εγώ, ο Ταραπουλούζης απάνταν και κάποιες ερωτήσεις που μόνος του και λένε κάποια πράγματα. Εγώ νομίζω ότι κάποιοι γίνεστε άδικοι που πιάνουν μια. Εμείς ερωτήσαμε ερωτήσεις που θέλουν να ρωτήσουν όλος ο κόσμος. Που για να οι απαντήσεις του κυρίου Ταραπουλούζη είναι εκείνες που κρίνονται. Και αν εσείς κρίνετε ότι και που σας απάντησε δεν ικανοποιείστε, έχετε το κάθε δικαίωμα. Δηλαδή, επειδή εγώ έχω την εντύπωση ότι οι παραπάνω περιμέναν ότι να βγει ο Ταραπουλούζης στο total cringe και από εκεί παρέτηση του στον αέρα ή να βγαίνει και να λέει συγγνώμη και να λέτε να που θέλετε να κάνω. Ερωτήσαμε τις ερωτήσεις και για τους managers και για το ποιοι μες στο τούτο και ποιες είναι οι ευθύνες τους και λέω σου. Πολλές ερωτήσεις άλλες που μπορούσα να ρωτήσω, αλλά πρέπει να κάνω εκπομπή 5 ώρες ρε φίλε, όχι ανά μισή ώρα.
The thing is, going back to that show, I can't remember if it was you I was messaging about it or in our WhatsApp group, but he had an answer for everything, for literally everything.
He was prepared from before, man.
Of course, but this is what I'm saying. So, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of this, whether he knew the questions prior.
No, that's not what I'm saying. He didn't know, but he came prepared because he knew. You didn't need someone to hand him over the questions. He knew they're going to ask me about this. They're going to ask me about Berg. They're going to ask me about So he knew. So if you notice, when we were asking questions, he says, "I'm going to answer that later." He had his tablet and he knew what he came prepared. But even if we did put more pressure and ask him more, he knew what he was going to answer, what he wanted to answer, and this is what you have to judge.
Yeah. Well, look, the thing is, the one thing I will say, because I don't want to go into this because it's all done and dusted now, but there's something that have you seen what happened with the APOLLON versus AEL game? What, you mean they're going to replay it behind closed doors? Is that what they're going to do now?
Τώρα they're both μηδενιστήκαν και ο Απόλλωνας και ΑΕΛ. 0 points. They're not going to play the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that
I didn't know. Okay, fine. Okay. So yeah, but what I'm saying, what I was going to say is that he mentioned Lennon, where he said, like, Lennon came in and he did the job that he was supposed to do. Like, he was supposed to stabilize the team and win the cup. I was like, okay, fine. So he by that, it seemed to me that Lennon was brought in as like a caretaker manager or like a temporary manager. But then obviously he wasn't, because he signed like a 2 or 3 year deal, however long it was, 2024. I can't fucking remember anyway. But then if you say that he was brought in just to win the cup and then, stabilize the team, why did you bring in all these players and players that he clearly wanted? Yeah, like Hooper and Barker here, they've been mentioned here, Hooper and Barker, right? And then sack him like a couple months into the job. Now, obviously, results weren't great. We did the Salamina game, well, both of the times, isn't it? So we did it over 2 days. And the moment we went a goal behind, when Thiago scored, I was actually going to watch my daughter in a production, in a concert. I was watching the game on the phone beforehand. And the moment Thiago scored, I was like, this guy's gone. He's not even better, as message been saying, he's gone. Well, he's going to go, man. Of course he's going to go. So there are so many more questions that could have been asked, as you said, but you could have gone on for 5 or 6 more hours talking about. But he's always going to have an answer for it, because they've probably sat down over the past few months and said, right, if they ask us this, they've probably got like a flow chart. If this is asked, answer this. If this is asked, answer that. It's like, how can I put it? When I was working, get this right, when I was working at Disney in the social media team, right, we were helping out the Disney Store online help desk for a bit, right? And they had this like flow chart of a script. So if a customer asks this, then you respond with that. And that's what it is. It's almost as if they've got like an organizational chart. It's like, if this is asked, then you got to answer it with this. And if that is asked again, you got to answer it with this, but make it sound like this. That's just how it is, right? But the fact is, we can't worry about what is done. This is what I will say. You can't, like a frequently asked question, bravo Loizumu, like FAQ. That's what it is. FAQ Tarabuluzi, right? I thought it was going to say some blues. So it's like the past is done. And while we're pissed off about what could have been and what should have been, it is what it is, right? Now we've got a new head coach. It's coming into January. We've got a decent run of games where we can gather more points and hopefully close the gap. And we've just got to be a bit more, I don't know, got to be a bit more positive, but a bit more trusting in them, right? As difficult as it is to admit because of the way that things have happened recently, but is there a chance that maybe we can give them just the benefit of the doubt and say, do you know what? Perhaps they've realized they fucked up, and let's wipe the slate clean and let them start from scratch, because, we won the league with Berg, we won the cup. We can't say that they haven't been a success since being at the helm. I've said what I've had to say about them, and I've absolutely shat on them from various angles, be it from a commercial perspective, be it from marketing. And I'm not going to take back anything that I said, because I believed it and I still believe it. But I'm fair enough to say, right, as pissed off as we are right now, we've just got to let them do their job. If at the end of the season, we've ended up in Group B and we haven't won a cup, that's when there's going to be fucking noise, big noise. But the end of the season is months away. So anything can happen. Anything can happen between now and then. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, okay, I agree. It's, we fans are emotionally invested. Sometimes we're impatient. Okay, I'm not. I don't think there is anyone who is happy. And I've mentioned this many times before. We all agree that there's a problem. It's just the belief and the patience that some others have to stick to their plan. Yes, I'm not happy with what we're doing. Yes, things should have been different. But at the same time, you have to support what you have. Now you can bring in some players. I think έχει κόσμο που θέλει να φύγει ο Σίμος, να θέλει να φύγει ο Γρηγόρης, θέλουν να φύγει ο Παπασταύρου, να φύγουν και οι παίχτες, να φύγει ο Φερέρα που ήταν τώρα πήγαινε και ο Σαχάπαρος και απλά να φεύγει κόσμος, ας πούμε. Ωραία, και μετά να μου να γίνει. Μετά τι είναι να γίνει. Εν τον πουρώ τώρα, φίλε. Το κάθε τι έχει και ο χρόνος του και η ώρα του. Τούτο λάρω. Δεν είμαι ευχαριστημένος, ούτε εγώ με τζάμπου θωρώ.
Well, put it this way, for all we know, we might sign 2 very, very good players in this window, whether it be loans, whether it be... Because don't forget, and here's something that I'm going to say right now, and people might think I'm fucking crazy, right? But Mancini is linked with Olympiacos, isn't he?
Yeah, he was close. Now again, he's not. There's a back and forth. Teams from Russia want him, from Spain.
What's to say? Get this, and I'm probably just shooting in the dark here, blindfolded, whatever. But what's to say that he doesn't sign for Olympiacos and we get him on loan like Lovera?
I don't know. It's not a matter of 1 or 2 players, Refile. This is what is the same thing that Macready said on the press conference last week when we beat Apollon. It's not a 1 or 2 players. We have to fix things from the beginning. It's not Omonia doesn't need fine tuning at the moment. You know. Anyway, I have to go. I have to go.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. I'm going to stay on for a bit longer just to get some people's opinions on the transfer window. I've got 5 minutes. I'll let these guys tell me about their thoughts on the transfer window.
If it's 5 minutes, I can stay. If it's more, I'm going to go.
Okay. Well, we've done 1 hour 16. Let's go to 1 hour 20. So, 21. So everyone watching live, all 40 of you, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't liked and subscribed, then shame on you. But yeah, so what positions do you think we will strengthen in January? And which players do you think realistically will join us? Because I'm thinking about, you only have 4 signings in January. Hussein, I think we're only going to bring 2. I think we're only going to bring in 2 from what I understand anyway. So which players are available? Which players are looking realistic? Because it doesn't seem to me that this club is going to spend a shit ton of money on players. But as we've seen recently, players breaking their contract. We saw Cabral leave Apollon, so they obviously broke his contract. And a few other players have left clubs, breaking their contracts. So there will be other players doing the same thing. Now, apparently Shehu is out of contract, isn't he? Hasn't he been released from the club in Poland? So it wouldn't surprise me if he's back in Cyprus or goes to Turkey, maybe. Bulgaria. It's Bulgaria. So yeah, I mean, who do you think? I mean, I'll tell you what. While you're talking, let me bring up a list of all the players who are out of contract at the moment. I know this is so stupid, but at least it gives us something to talk about anyway. Or contracts that are expiring. That'll be a better one. Contracts that are expiring. For me,
the players that we have, we do have some quality players, but unfortunately, up till now, they haven't offered. I'm going to agree with something that Simos said. Ότι έναν πράγμα να πιάνεις τους παίκτες και άλλο να προσαρμόζονται. Ναι, but you sign them because you expect that you're going to have the best out of them. And I told that on the show as well. It took Kareem, the game against Apollon, to see what a good player he is, let's put it. Kasama, he had glimpses. Bezos, glimpses. Parker, τίποτε. Bruno, he started off the season really well. Then he had these ups and downs, disciplinary issues as well. Now he seems to try and be a little bit better. But overall, it's the inability to make this group of individuals into a team. Then if I see that, then I'll be able to say, we need we're lacking 2 players, for example. But at the moment, I'm not convinced. For example, I look at the back line. I'm not convinced with the back line. I look at you need something better, something more. But if you can fix it by all means. But άμα είναι τέτοιος είναι ο πρώτος γύρος, ρε φίλε, και είσαι 12 πόντους που πίσω, δεν ξέρω αν είναι θέμα ενός παιχτήθκιο. Εν τον πουλάρω, ρε φίλε.
Yeah. Well, I brought political players that are at contract expiring, but nah, it's fucking ridiculous. A lot of these players are ridiculously overpriced and overvalued. So I don't know. Look, I'm not 100% sure who they got in mind, and we can't sit here and speculate as to, players that could come. I mean, I know like Danny Rose, for example, he's available in a free transfer. He's a left back. I mean, is there a chance that we might bring in another left back? I don't know. If we're talking about players that are realistic that we can sign, well, are we going to go back to talking about fucking Ben Arfa? Are we going to go back to talking about, I can't even say Vidra because Vidra's joined a club now. So there's no point in us.
It'd be interesting to see also what Ferreira might ask from the team as well, because that's another thing he's going to be judged, his ability to find players, that can make a difference for the team. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure that in the following days and weeks, we're going to be hearing a lot of names, a lot of stuff. So, τούτο που χρειάζεται να κάνουμε υπομονή. Την ώρα που να ανακοινωθεί. Obviously, we all want them to come as soon as possible and try and help from day one, hit the floor running, ideally, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, 4 days to go, boys and girls. 4 days until the window opens. Watch this space. Hold on to your seats because you're in for a bumpy ride. Anyway, Roy, thank you very much for jumping on, mate. Thank you to Vitor again for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. We'll be back hopefully soon. The next game is when? The 4th? Is it the 4th?
Second, I think.
The second. Second. Yeah. There you go. So we'll be back on the 2nd for sure, 100%. In the meantime, tune into This Is Mappa, which is another show that we're doing. It's a Cypriot football podcast. We are trying to get another guest before the end of the year. And I can give you a hint as to who he is. I'm just waiting for him to confirm, actually. But I've been speaking to a former coach of AEK Larnaca. That's all the information I can give you because he hasn't confirmed it yet. So I'm not going to tell you who he is. But that's why we had Mickey Masana, who was the former APOLLON assistant coach. We had Joel Malon. We're going to get more and more people because we want the Brodathlima to become more of a popular show. I've had thousands of people messaging me, believe it or not, thousands on Twitter anyway. So yeah, let's see. Fingers crossed. So until next time, boys and girls, enjoy your new year. Don't get drunk. And if you do, just behave yourself. Don't do what stupid people do. That's it. That's all I can add to it. So that's it. Roy?
Καλή χρονιά, παιδιά μου.
Καλή χρονιά.
Bye bye.
Bye.